Hello, my name is Miklos. I work as a lead principal engineer for NatWest Group and I'm a DevOps Institute ambassador. Today, I'm going to talk to you about why people should come before tech and how DevOps can transform companies towards becoming more efficient and productive with more happy and engaged colleagues. Delivery-focused leaders often prioritize milestones and deadlines over people and culture and treat technical work as a technology and process challenge only. This talk can help you to make the point on how investing into implementing generative culture measurably contributes to a more effective delivery in the form of eliminating non-value-add work from the overall process. The three key aspects that represent the critical success factors for any DevOps implementation are people, practices, and automation. The first layer, implementing a generative culture, which is an organizational culture focusing on continuously improving performance, having high trust, high cooperation, and psychological safety. The DevOps Research Assessment, or DORA for short, found that a high-trust generative culture predicts software delivery and organizational performance in technology. The second layer, adopting existing frameworks including ITIL, Lean, and Agile, and adapting them based on the opportunities for improvements identified by measurements and monitoring, improves the efficiency of the organizational processes. And the final layer, adding the level of technology and automation to those processes and practices to streamline and accelerate them. One important thing to mention here: if we are not focusing on people and practices first before bringing in automation, then automating bad processes will end up in bad results. We basically will do the wrong thing faster. Before we talk more about DevOps, I'd like to talk about how silos were invented. Modern organizational structures inherited from successful earlier approaches. Adam Smith in 1776 advocated division of labor to represent a substantial increase in productivity. He argued the specialization and concentration of the workers on their single subtasks often leads to greater skill and greater productivity on their particular subtasks than would be achieved by the same number of workers, each carrying out the original broad task end to end. This concept of task specialization went mainstream with Henry Ford's assembly line, revolutionizing the American industry in 1908. Basically, this is about splitting the original end-to-end delivery to smaller subtasks and add workers only trained to do and focusing on one of those. Those workers become really good at their own step and very productive, therefore speeding up the whole pipeline and improving its delivery performance. Fast forwarding to present time, the focus on task specialization, control, and measurement are still present in today's organizational structures. Although it is proven very effective for manufacturing pipelines, it does not answer all the challenges in scope for modern IT services management. Many organizations are trying to break down silos via organizational redesign. They are getting rid of their manager-led functional teams and moving on to self-organizing cross-functional structures. Although this is an enabler, it does not fully address the silo problem, which is rooted in mentality. Silo mentality occurs when a team or department shares a set of common tasks, but operates disconnected from other groups, with their power derived from association with their function or shared technical knowledge. Some examples of these are the testing team, which is focusing on one slice of the process, optimizing own approaches, tools, and processes, disconnected from the end-to-end delivery. They don't work on how to build quality in the end-to-end process, how to add testability requirements, and they don't share their knowledge with cross-functional team members outside their own team. They are managing a problem and this way sustaining the reason for their own existence. Another example could be two feature teams working on the same product, but each one owning one specific user journey and focusing on their slice of the product only, making their own choices in terms of using third-party libraries, technologies, but they don't contribute to the end-to-end optimization of the product. Or cross-pollinating best practices. They don't look for reusing solutions existing outside of their team either, so they are likely end up duplicating them. These teams, the testing team and the feature teams, could actively focus on improving how the tasks are getting delivered end-to-end, but prioritizing their own team above the organization, choose to work their own siloed way, looking inwards only. Silo mentality leads to a lack of systems thinking, which is essential for continuous improvement of the organization. Systems thinking basically means that the team understands that their function is part of a larger system, interrelated and interdependent on other teams, and the system is more than the sum of its parts. Losing focus from the big picture leads to local optimization of tools, solutions, and processes, which creates process complexity. The complex handoffs between teams are treated as external to those silos, therefore out of focus for improvements. Waiting for information, approval, decisions, feedback are good examples of the lack of systems thinking. If systems thinking would have been applied in this case, for example, waiting for approval could have been automated based on business rules, therefore removed as an external dependency for the team, improving its end-to-end delivery. Another side effect of losing focus from the big picture is lack of building or contributing to shared capabilities and resources. This results in duplicates, reworks, and divergent solutions. Or the team working on unnecessary deliverables or features. Again, if systems thinking would have been applied, the team would have reused an already existing solution, implemented by another team, instead of inventing the wheel again. In lean management terms, waiting, over-processing, defects, and overproduction are forms of non-value-add work, aka waste, which should be removed from the overall process. So, how DevOps address this? DevOps promotes systems thinking and puts the focus on the end-to-end value streams. Simply put, how work moves from devs to ops, from left to right, one team to another. Once it is identified how the individual steps fit together, the next step is to identify bottlenecks, so removing those can be prioritized for the biggest positive impact. DevOps embeds amplified right-to-left feedback loops. The goal of almost all process improvement initiatives is to shorten and amplify feedback loops so necessary corrections can be continually made in the process as quickly as possible. Feedback loops help to create safer, more resilient processes, as combined with continuous improvement and learning culture, the teams can continuously improve the quality of their continuous delivery pipelines, processes, and practices. DevOps promotes a culture of continuous experimentation and learning to enable the ongoing creation of knowledge for individuals, teams, and the organization. Just because we have been doing things a specific way in the last 2 years, it does not mean we have to do it exactly the same way in the future. Experimenting is a good source of innovation too. Turning local learnings into global improvements and approaching failure as a learning opportunity for all enables the organization to see the value in trying new things and innovating. Okay, so if you take away one thing from this session, it should be that if you want to improve and scale your delivery, the right place to start with is talking about your culture. Can you identify silo mindset in your teams? Is there effective collaboration, cross-pollination, and contribution to shared capabilities? You won't be able to transform this culture without or with an organizational redesign or automating pieces of your processes. The way forward is to follow DevOps practices to promote systems thinking and collaboration. Map out your delivery processes end-to-end, rip off the band-aid if necessary, and streamline and simplify those processes and practices. If you do this, it will have a massive positive impact on your culture, and the automation and tooling part to underpin and accelerate your processes will be easy. I hope you find this task useful. In case of any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. You can see my Medium, LinkedIn and Twitter handles there. If you are interested to learn more about DevOps, you can find a huge amount of information on the DevOps Institute website in the form of blogs, case studies, podcasts, and guides for free. Thank you very much.